There was a running back my brief time in Minnesota. I forget his name, but he had a hilarious line. He said, "You need 2 yards, I'll get you 3.
Yeah.
You need 4, I'll get you 3."
Yeah. Yo. What's up? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned, and that was the great voice of Paulie B. No, not the Paulie B from Jersey Shore. My Paulie B from Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Paul Burmeister, what's up, man? How are you?
You've kind of made me an honorary member of the North Jersey Club.
Yeah,
right?
you're kind of.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you're stuck a little bit now. And then you went over to mom and dad's house at one point.
I did.
So you
slept
know
in
the
your
area. You slept in my bed
before
right?
I knew you.
Damn,
It's
we
a
didn't even
little
know
odd.
each other. You're right. You're
I
right.
I showed up at the front door. Feels like, come on in, throw your bags upstairs. I'm like, oh, okay.
So you're honorary
so.
Jersey. You are, definitely. And that was a good call by you right there with that quote. Leroy Horde.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers that name from back in the day.
He was very good at Michigan. I remember watching him in college.
Definitely.
Really good player. There he is.
That was, Leroy Horde would have been, what years? That was like 91, 92 in Michigan, somewhere in there?
Early to mid-90s. Yeah. And then Pete gave us a very nice assist based off of what I said there. 3.9 yards per carry. So actually he could get you 4.
Hey, he could, right? You're right.
He would likely get you 4.
Well, hey, it's if there was only 2 there to be got, that was a good run,
right?
For sure, definitely.
And he turned that into a really good career.
But hey, there's that's what's great about the NFL is there's more niches or roles players can play on a football team than in college, where it's just not that way. It's game plan specific, situational specific.
Right.
So that's where it is different, definitely. And hey, listen, running backs, there's some that are like that.
You did that so well for what we're talking about today about niches. Like it's almost like you weren't trying to get us to tight ends.
I really wasn't. I really wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah.
I just thinking overall the league has become that, and there's one thing as I watch film that I continue to remind myself about. And as you're watching, wait. Oh, this tight end, it doesn't get the ball much, blah, blah, blah. Wait, this is college. It's the spread. It's the read option. It's throw a screen to this guy. Oh, the tight end doesn't get the ball much in college offenses, really. But in the NFL, there's a niche for the guy.
Yeah.
And not only for one of them, but for 2 of them on every team. You usually need to have one that's good all around. He can run block. And, of course, is a little effective in the pass game. And then there's this is our killer in the pass game, and he's okay of a run blocker.
Right.
So there is a real spot for tight end. It's a totally different position in the NFL compared to college.
As you probably deciphered out there, tight ends, the topic today, top 5 tight ends. Chris will get into that. Hopefully some honorable mention guys. We'd like to do that as well. Mention some dudes who were close to getting in.
Right.
But, I was thinking about it driving to work here today, Chris. I often say that in this position. So – tight ends.
Yeah.
College tight end, they're doing so many things, as you pointed out. Sometimes they're not asked to do the thing a team's going to draft them, wants them to do.
Right.
Once you get to the NFL, you've got to block an outside linebacker. Sometimes you got to block a DN. Maybe a whole game you got to block a DN.
Definitely.
You got to beat the nickel back in coverage.
Yeah.
You got to split out wide. You got to split out in the slot.
Right.
Is this the most difficult position to evaluate in terms of the number of things they'll be asked to do in the NFL?
It is a hard position to evaluate because of what you're saying. You're literally going from like 4th grade math to advanced algebra in the NFL. And again, it's not only the humans that you're going against that are different animals, like you're talking about outside linebacker. Yeah, it's TJ Watt. You got to block him all game long. Oh, no, it's Cameron Jordan. All game long, you got to block him.
And next snap, split out wide and beat their best corner.
Yeah, right. Next snap, you're over there in the slot, and Jalen Ramsey moved in on a big 3rd and 6, and now you got to beat him.
Good luck, son.
Have fun. Right.
Yeah.
It is, let alone the rules and – as an offensive lineman, again, in college football, for the most part, most offenses are very simple. I watch all these games. I go, they got 2 run plays, and they got a handful of pass plays, and that's all they got. That's it. In the NFL, a lot of these guys are going to go in and go, wait, whoa. We got more run plays than we had in my whole offense last year in college. So all these rules and then all this communication at the line of scrimmage, so that's where it is. It's a huge adjustment, and I think there's a reason why you don't really see rookie tight ends, for the most part, come in and just take the league by storm like you might see a great rookie receiver or running back come in, because there is that great mental aspect to where tight end, after quarterback and center, might have to be, the smartest guy on the field after those two guys.
Thinking about that, Pete comes up with another awesome hammer stat here.
Yeah.
So thinking about rookie record for receiving yards in the NFL.
Right.
If you would have asked me that just in general and list 10 tight ends from the last 60 years.
I know.
And Mike Ditka was one of them. I would have pushed him aside and thought, okay, Kellen Winslow. Okay, maybe, Jeremy Shockey. I would have gone through the other 9 guys.
Shockey would have been the one that would have jumped to me.
Any of the other 9.
Shockey must have.
NFL record, rookie tight end, Mike Ditka. 1,076 in 1961.
It's amazing. First off, in that year to do that, throwing the forward pass was just invented a few days before that.
Hours.
All joking.
Yeah.
But it is amazing. It is. It speaks to the player that I don't think people realize what Mike Ditka was. He was a physical beast. Right.
Yeah.
Physical beast. He was Gronk of the early 60s.
At
right,
Wrigley
everybody?
Field. Catching those balls at Wrigley Field.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it speaks to that, what we're talking about. It's a whole different game for these guys. And added to that, specifically, now you're going, oh, wait, all these things I have to do differently and offensively that are on my plate physically and mentally. And then on the defensive side, oh, it's third down. Oh, wait, they actually have a guy they brought in the game that covers tight ends for a living. That's what all he does. Talking about our niches again.
Yeah.
Here's our third safety that they drafted. He doesn't start when it's base defense, but it's 11 personnel, 3rd and 7. He comes in and he's 6'3" and 217 pounds, and he can cover tight ends. So there's all of that to go along with it. Very important position. The NFL, of course, with the drop-back pass game, the quarterback's better in the pocket, and really offensive coordinators in the NFL compared to college, and there's a lot of reasons, they just know how to use the tight end more and make him a real part of the offense.
And because of that, here's another stat I found when kind of poking around last night thinking about this pod we're going to do about tight ends. We're working our way to the top 5 in this class. Top 10 receiving yards in the NFL 2021. Pass catchers. How many tight ends would you expect to find in the top 10 for receiving yards last year?
That's a good question. Okay,
I'll give you a little hint. I was really surprised.
More than you think, right? No, it was less. All right, so hold on. Top 10.
Top 10.
Okay, so
you type in NFL receiving yards 2021.
Yeah. All right, so I know Waller got hurt, so he's not going to be in there. Kittle got hurt too, so he's not going to be in there. So you're right. That's going to hurt that production there. So you got Kelsey, I would think, is somewhere in there at over 1,000 yards at least. Right? I'll look here in a second.
Not yet.
Okay, I won't look.
Yeah.
So Kelsey, I'm going to go with Kelsey as one of them.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go with Mark Andrews from Baltimore.
Yeah. Mark Andrews is the only one.
Is he the only one?
He's the only tight end in the top 10. Pete, go ahead and Kelsey's 14. So I was going to say then in the top 20, 3 tight ends. 3 tight ends, top 20 pass catchers last NFL season.
It is.
I would have said 3 in the top 10. 6 in the top 20.
Right.
That's where I would have placed my over-unders.
So we got, you said it. We got Mark Andrews.
Only one
Kelsey
top 10.
At 14.
Yeah. There was one more.
There was one. Kyle Pitts. There you go. Wow. That's that's amazing. But you're right.
You think about, we're always talking about matchup problems. And tight end, you get a really good one who's a great matchup problem for a defense. I just thought there would have been more than 3 in the top 20.
Yeah, I'm with you. You think about it as a big picture thing, too. There's Gronk, who I still look at as one of the bigger mismatches in football, but they got a lot of weapons on that team, so that takes away from his catches. We talked about the injuries from Waller and Kittle. You got some guys with some potential to where you go, they're big-time players, but they're stuck on some offenses, too, that got other players, too.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, I think what we look at and what you say there, what I think maybe pops out more than anything to what you're saying here, is I think we named all the tight ends that are basically you'd go, oh, that's the number 1 target for their passing offense. I think we named them, really. I mean, it's Wallers, it's Andrews, it's Kelsey, it's Kittle. And maybe Hawkinson from Detroit, Pete just got mayor.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He to me will be that this year for sure.
And we're seeing whether it's a tight end or receiver, and maybe this has been around for a while, but I feel like recently it's even more so. Number 1 target, we're going to him. Hey, Cooper Kupp's over there. We're going to throw him the ball.
Yeah, right.
Devontae Adams is here. I am throwing him the ball. So even though everybody knows it, they're still producing giant numbers.
Definitely. Yeah, they're more explosive. They're capable of making big plays, those type of receivers. There's more ways to get them the ball, I guess, more than anything. You can get them a lot of cheap catches and yards that way. But tight end, still an extremely important position to the success of your football team. You look at the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, they had good tight end play.
Not first-round picks.
No, not first-round picks.
But
You're
really
right.
good players.
But really good players. Uzoma,
Really good.
of course, good. Tyler Higbee was hurt for the game. The kid they had that came in for him, I'm blanking on his name, number 88, he got hurt during the game. He was a good player. Of course, the 49ers were in the championship weekend.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are the other team. Good tight end play.
Right.
So it's a real thing. And then, of course, what it does, too, when you have multiple tight ends on your football team, and Tennessee's a tight end football team that has multiple tight ends. There's no shock that's why they're good. Mm-hmm. But what it does is what we always talk about. It's a league of mismatches and creating advantages. And when you put a tight end, two tight ends on the football field, oh, wait, right now they're over here. They're lined up on the right side of the line. Whoa, wait, and they got a lot of power. They can run the ball, like we talk about. And then the very next play, you can get up. Oh, we got a first down on that run. No huddle. Hey, boom, boom, boom. Now we're lined up in a 4-wide set, and the tight ends are good enough in the receiving category to where you go, oh, no, we were just playing a defense to stop the run, and now we got slow linebackers on the field, and we're in a little trouble here matching up in this formation. And that's where they become really a weapon in the game for a lot of these offenses. But you need two. There's very few that have it all. Very few.
And you'd like to have two who bring you different things to the table as well.
Well, that's what you got. That's where you got to have it. That's where you got to, because even out of the ones we just talked about, Kelsey's a below average NFL blocker.
Right.
He's not bad. I don't want to say that. He's not. But he just wants to kind of do his assignment, and that's it. I got in his way. My guy didn't make the tackle, period.
Right.
Right? That's all he's worried about.
Yeah.
Kittle, on the other hand, is a killer that way. Gronk is a killer that way. Pitts is a killer that way. Mm-hmm. But that's rare. It's rare to get that guy to go. Waller's a pretty good blocker too.
Yeah.
But it's rare to get that guy to go, wait, he can put his hand down and block Cameron Jordan on one play, and then we can put him at slot the next play and go, crap, he just got open against Honey Badger on a 10-yard route.
Right.
That guy does not exist a lot, and I'm not sure. There's really only maybe two guys in this draft that I think have that capability of being good in both areas, and that's the problem with this class in general.
Okay, so this class, I think it was last week.
Yeah.
I sat right here and we talked about a running back class that kind of in general is viewed as not a really strong group of players.
Right.
Draft-wise, it was cool to see how much you like them. You like them a little more than others.
Yep.
So this tight end class, it's hard to find one projected to go in the first round.
Yeah, not going to happen.
It's hard to find somebody that you and I respect that speaks really highly of this class as a whole in terms of depth.
Right.
So your thoughts on these tight ends?
Yeah, it's an incomplete class. There's very few players that have it all. And I mean, not even all to where I go, oh, they're awesome at this and awesome at that. I'm just talking about being whoa, he's good in the run game and he's good in the pass game. They have both. So many of these guys whoa, they're really good in this area, but damn, in this area, shit. I mean, they need some work, or it just ain't good enough, or it's just average, and it's blah. And that's where I came away with the class, is just very few complete players, but you got some guys who do have some things about them where you go, oh, wait, this is elite. And an offense, back to the niche thing, in the NFL with the right coach here is going to know how to use this guy.
Yeah.
And, okay, he's not the greatest blocker. Okay, they'll put him in the right spots to block to get it done, and then they'll use him the right way, in the receiving game. I see some of that. So there's certainly some guys with some areas of big talent, very few with totality of talent, I guess.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it doesn't sound like you're describing any of them as first-round picks.
No.
I'm wondering, and we'll attach specific names to tap through 2 or 3 guys. Do you see anybody in this class worth an early or mid-second round pick?
I think so. I look at my top guy here, and I don't want to give it up yet, but the top guy, I think he's on par with Freiermuth from Penn State last year, who went to Pittsburgh.
That's singular. That's saying
one
top guy.
I know,
not your top guys.
No, yeah, I think maybe there's 2 that are in that range.
Okay,
I think ultimately for me, it's only going to be my number 1 guy that I'd go somewhere between 40 and 60, this guy will go off the board, and then we'll start to see the tight ends go a little bit.
Okay.
But, yes, certainly no Kyle Pitts in this class.
Top 10, yeah.
No. We had Colt Kmet a few years ago who was very good in both areas, maybe nothing great in one area, but he can run block, pretty good in the pass game.
Second round, right?
Second round, too, right.
Yeah.
So you're seeing, for the most part, that the good tight ends are going second round, and – every now and then there's a freak show who comes around where you go, okay, we got to get him earlier.
Without further ado, top 5 tight ends in this class, according to our guy Chris Simms. Number 5, what do you got?
Well, number 5, I'm going off the radar here a little bit, all right? And not really off the radar. It's just a little bit of, I usually am not too much of a projection-based guy.
Okay.
But James Mitchell from Virginia Tech is a guy I'm going to put my name to right now. I'm going to be along with this guy. He tore his ACL last year.
Yeah.
He only played 2 football games. To me, here is one of the few guys in the draft that I go, kind of has it all. He's one of the few.
6'3", 255. That's a good place to start.
Good place to start. He is one of the more compact, thicker tight ends we have in the class. Most of these guys are 6'5" and weigh a little less than he does. So as soon as you turn on the film, you go, oh, this guy looks like he's got a little power element to his football game. But then as soon as you watch him run and catch a ball, you go, whoa, this guy moves a little different. All right, this is good to see. So that's what jumped out to me more than anything. I think in the pass game, route running was towards the top of all these guys as far as his ability to get in and out of breaks. There's only one other guy I thought that was in his class or similar to him, and we're going to get to him after this. It's the next guy coming up.
Okay.
All right, so it was special, I thought, in the pass game. I thought it was special with the ball in his hands. Out of this group here, that we're going to talk about, we got a few guys that can do some things after the catch, but this was to a different level of, oh, wait, he could catch a shallow cross and maybe run around the corner on a linebacker or safety and turn it upfield. Or he can catch a pass and turn it upfield and break somebody's ankles and break an arm tackle, and you go, whoa, we got 12 extra yards there.
Yeah.
So that's where I really liked him. The route running was good. The blocking wasn't like, oh, my gosh, he's a killer, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was good to where with some of these guys, I'm going to go, you have to be careful about where you put this guy as blocking situations.
Right.
Not with this guy. This guy, you could put his hand down at the end of the line of scrimmage and go, he's going to block. He's willing. He tries. He's got, there is some physicality to him. Is he going to be Gronk? No. He's not going to be that. But you at least can play him at the traditional tight end spot. But he only got to play 2 games this year. Mm-hmm. It is a projection. But I thought with this class and as talented as I thought he was, and I really think that if he got to play a full year, this would probably be the number 1 tight end.
6'3", 255.
Yeah.
I mean, just his size suggests he could play attached there next to the tackle. You just described him as a pretty good blocker, not great.
Right.
So you're comfortable.
Gets the job done.
Comfortable playing him right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, all these offensive coordinators want to do 10 different things with their tight ends.
Yeah.
If you want to split him out wide,
you do,
next to a good receiver or have trips on one side and send him out by himself to the boundary,
right?
How would he do that?
That he's going to be good at that. That's where you're going to like him. That's where you're getting a tight end plus here because you're going, wait, one-on-one, there's some twitch and quickness here to where you go, if they match him up with a linebacker, that linebacker is going to be in deep doo-doo.
That's a good gold star next to somebody who's 6'3", 255.
I know. It is. This is definitely one of the specimens of jump out on this class right here. And I would be interested to see where it would all shake out for this kid if he was healthy. But to your point, I think that is real, and that's why I like the value of him. You could split him out and go, hey, work that safety or that linebacker. He can be in the slot. He's plenty quick enough there. Or even vertically to just go up the middle and split 2 safety defense, Paul. And then you can feel comfortable about, oh, wait, now it's, 2nd and 4. We want to run the ball here. Can we put him traditionally at the tight end of the line of scrimmage, and can he hold his own? Right. Yes, he can hold his own.
Is the injury he suffered to end his season early last fall your biggest concern, or is there something else out there that
No,
worries
it's
you?
really not. It's just I want to see it. I just, for the sake of the exercise of the podcast here and all that, I want to be able to talk about guys that do this. I thought about making him an honorable mention, but then I went, you know what, the class is not that strong, and I feel this strongly about this guy that I'm going to throw him there. And, tight end, slot receiver, single him out, H-back, Kyle Juszczyk, kind of fullback off the end, second tight end off of maybe a bigger blocking tight end. He's going to be able to do all that. So I think it's that versatility plus the pure talent that, opens my eyes to him.
A couple of things he's done here really kind of speak to the overall athleticism you've described. Wildcat quarterback his senior year in high school, long time ago, just high school. But I mean, I would read that and be like, okay,
yes,
kid's an athlete,
no doubt, and smart. You can tell he knows kind of where to sit in zones. The quarterback scrambles. He knows where to go.
Right.
Because
I mean, you got to be smart to play quarterback.
Well,
look at this desk.
Yeah,
look at these two guys.
Quarters, right? You don't have to be smart, but usually at least the quarterback has some good natural football instincts. That's where I would say. More times than not.
And 16 yards per catch. That's very good.
I mean,
I know it was in the ACC. That's still very good.
Yeah, you're right. It's still very good.
Yes.
I don't care what conference it is. And, again, this is Virginia Tech. They're not necessarily known for their high-flying pass attack. We don't know any other quarterbacks that go to school there.
Right.
So, yes, it is impressive. He is a really good football player, like I said, and I'll be interested to see where he gets drafted. It helps him in the aspect of the early season injury is going to make teams feel comfortable about him. But I think all in all that, I like the talent. You could tell.
Clearly, yeah.
And it's a guy that I do think maybe could have been the first guy off the board if he got the full year and had the production and numbers to kind of back it up.
Bruce Arians played quarterback at Vatech, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Well, see, instinct's not that smart. Got it? Bruce, I'm joking. Bruce knows that. Bruce is the man. He could take that joke. James
Mitchell at number 5, Virginia Tech, bringing us to number 4.
Number 4, Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina. Now, this is... You want a space tight end.
I do.
This is your guy.
Okay.
Here's your space tight end, right?
Space, like you split him out wide.
Split him out wide, have him a little off the edge of the normal tight end position.
H-back.
H-back. You don't want anything to do with this guy with his hand down on the ground in the position. That's not going to happen.
This is a wide receiver.
This is a big wide receiver, basically, we're talking about. That's... wants to get in the way as a blocker, but that's about it. There's not going to be any more than that. But within saying that, this is also the most gifted pass-catching tight end in this class. Okay. I mean, what he does in the pass, he runs routes like a wide receiver.
If you already have a tight end, you can attach and go up against the outside linebacker DN. Makes a guy like this pretty attractive.
Exactly right. So it's going to be a little bit of flavor of the month, right? You're definitely, if you're looking for a tight end, and you want the traditional sense, no, this Isaiah Likely's not your guy. If you got your traditional, first and second down, big, strong tight end, great, because now this is the guy you want as your second tight end. This can be your Aaron Hernandez to your Gronk, right? I mean, not to say he's Aaron Hernandez, but the way he runs routes and gets up the field, what he does with the ball in his hands, I mean, to me was clearly the best in all areas considered passing game. You talk about being split out one-on-one. I think he's a real red zone threat that way. He knows how to use his body, 50-50 catches. You see that. It's very natural to him.
12 receiving touchdowns last year, first among tight ends.
There you go. They used him like that there, where they went, wait, we're on the 4? Receivers, you go over there. We're going to put this big fucker over here, and we're going to let him run a slant or fake the slant and run the fade. But, wide receiver-like feet off the ball, off the line of scrimmage, and really wide receiver type suddenness coming in and out of the breaks. And then I think you add that to incredible hands. Incredible. I think he had the best hands, or even at least made the most wow catches to me out of everybody in this class. Contested was good, and balls thrown outside the target range and him still bringing them in and almost not even breaking stride. Handful of one-handed catches in front and in back. And it's wait, was that one? Was that one hand? Did he do that easy? And just that? I mean, it's literally pull it out, pull it in, and just keep running. He was a very natural player in the pass game for sure.
This is a fun description to take in because he sounds awesome at one thing, receiving.
Yes.
And don't even think about utilizing him as a blocker. So it's super high on one end.
Yes.
And not so much on the other end that you want. So this question from, I'm going to call him Harry G. Gascoigne, Mr. North Jersey. What would you say? Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Gascoigne? We'll say Harry G.
Gascoigne? I'm not sure.
Pete like that one. But Harry says, do you think Isaiah Likely is a target for a team late second, early third?
I think that could be clear. I would say third. I wrote third down. Late second could be a thing. But I think more than likely, I felt like it was a third round with the situation you painted. We already got the other one. We got the big traditional tight end. Now let's start to put some teams in a bind here. And that to me is what he is slot receiver. Oh wait, tight end to the right. He's the second tight end, right? That's off the line of scrimmage. All right, that's right on the edge, right off the line of scrimmage, right on the edge of the tight end. So now you got two tight ends to that side. All right, hey, guy with the down hand, you get the big guy. I got the safety support guy over there, right? That's to me what he is perfectly. And the H-back, fullback stuff. He's going to be able to do all of that. I mean, he's a natural at adjusting to the ball, turning up field, making something happen. So if he was catching a ball in the flat like a fullback, he's a natural in that department, all of it.
Where some offensive coordinator who's creative in the passing game is going to be happy his GM.
No question.
Took this guy. Okay,
Yes.
number 3, we're going out to the Pac-12.
We're going back to the Pac-12, and we're along the same similar lines here. We're on it's awesome pass game and blocking. Greg Dulcich.
I think it's Dulcich.
Dulcich. Excuse me, Greg. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm horrible with English. We know that. Dulcich. Okay. Dulcich would rival Isaiah Likely, and our guy Mitchell in the pass game. Dulcich is real in the pass game.
Yeah.
First off, I mean, his size at 6'4", 250. He's got a great, radius.
I called his first game this year.
Yeah.
He looks longer than that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I agree. Looks longer
He
than what
looks
he
like
is.
a 6'5", 260 kind of guy.
Agreed. Well, he's very high cut.
Yeah.
He's got long legs, and his legs got a little thickness to them. It's not like some skinny, pass-catching tight end. Let's take a guy like, Mike Gesicki out of Penn State, who was also a second-rounder.
Yeah.
This is what I see this guy as a little bit. It's the same type of player. Big, long, can run down the field, can adjust to the ball, right? And compared to Gesicki, I think he's got a little more thickness and power to him, but the run blocking like we're talking about here is it's just, again, it's a little better than Isaiah Likely, all right? But it's assignment blocking. When I say assignment blocking, it's just like coach just told me to go get in the way of this guy right here in this way. And that's all it is. So he's not bad in space, wide receiver screens, stuff like that. He's okay. But when you put his hand down, it's a little underwhelming. He's not going to be a killer that way for sure.
I saw his name on your list, and I've been reading about him. I thought back to that first game. I think they beat up on Hawaii maybe at the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
But I remember from his stats last year, I don't know the exact number, but I think his yards per catch for tight end might have been best in the Pac-12 or maybe best in the nation. Almost 18 yards per catch this year as well. In an offense, the quarterback was inconsistent, and I know it's not an NFL-type offense at all.
No, it's not. I mean, it's exactly. It's college again.
How difficult was that evaluation?
Well,
then?
yeah, it's a spread offense. It's it's a seam route every now and then. It's a shallow cross. It's a deep cross. I mean, that's really all you're going to see for the most part. So yeah, you're not going to get to see traditional tight end hand down, block down on a defense end, and the backside guards pulling around. Like you don't see any of that. Of course not. No, but he pops and jumps out as a pass game receiver. He really does. Again, I think the route running's real, and like you talked about, the size is real and plays bigger than that, but also plays faster than his 4.69 speed too. That was the other thing I wrote down. 4.69, impressive speed at 250 in the combine, but you turn on the film, he's running away from a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And not only just running it to where you go, oh, he's just a big straight line tight end, and once he opens up, he goes in a straight direction. No. I'm very impressed with his ability to run routes.
Yeah.
Very impressed with the ball in his hands and making people miss. Stopping, putting the brakes on, restarting in a hurry, stopping. Somebody's got a hold of his waist, runs through the arm tackle that way. So, again, he rivals Isaiah Likely and James Mitchell as far as the athlete in the pass game for sure, except I would say he's a bigger target in the pass game than those two guys are.
I thought he got to where he was going. Just, again, one game from the press box, and his 40 time, it is what it is, but whether it was a seam or a deep shallow, I thought he got to where his quarterback needed him to be.
In a hurry.
Really quickly.
I know.
It jumped out.
The get off is real.
Yeah.
He's very good at the line of scrimmage, too, at weaving through the trash, releases, whatever. But that's one of the reasons I thought the 4.69, I went, man, guy plays faster than that, really. I mean, he's got some real explosion and acceleration to his game, let alone, route running wise. I mean, it was pretty special. I'm not going to say it's as good as Isaiah Likely, right? But it's really damn good for a tight end at that size. Again, he understands how to attack people. He understands how to attack people, lean them a little bit, The guy thinks I'm going inside. Well, I'm going to lean him inside just a little bit more, and I'm going to sell it with some body language. Oh, now he's really leaning. Boom, stick my foot in the ground. I came out, created separation, and he can explode out of those breaks. So that's where I found him really impressive. He's a player in the pass game. The run game is going to be a question.
And you know how this works. I mean, teams that are thinking about using maybe a second or third round pick on a player, they're getting to know not only the film but his total story. I think a big part of his story, former walk-on.
Yes, right.
Had to put on 40 pounds to play at this level.
Right.
What's that tell you about his evaluation?
Well, it tells me that it's like this is just like a raw, like totally still getting used to the position. It's just an athlete who's figured out, oh, wait, I can play tight end. So there might be more to go here as far as what he can do.
Upside.
Yeah. I mean, that to me is what that would say for sure.
I always think with former walk-ons too, no matter the position, I know it's a popular word, but there's a grit. There's a real toughness and kind of want to and prove you wrong that they never really
fight
leave
against
behind.
the odds. Yeah, I agree with that too. You're right. There definitely
With
is
a
something
little
to
something.
that. Definitely, there's an edge or a chip on the shoulder forever.
Yeah,
after that, I would agree with that. It's always trying to prove yourself. Dulcich looks like Weird Al Yankovic a little bit if you see him without his helmet on, which is definitely going to make you laugh a little bit.
And the hair.
The hair too to go with it.
Thank you for that.
Along the lines of other players I've seen, Zach Ertz came to mind. Zach Ertz, I would say Zach Ertz coming out of Stanford, he wasn't the physical running specimen this kid was.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit better blocker, but not much. It's again, Zach Ertz is not famous for his blocking either.
Right.
To where, this guy's got such real talent and size, and the size is a thing here. Even though he's 6'4" and Isaiah Likely 6'4" too, like you talked about, he plays a lot bigger than Isaiah Likely, let alone I get to see it against Division I competition, on the regular, or at least better competition. But because of the long legs and the long arms and everything, it just seemed like he had a much bigger catch radius too. Even when he was covered, it seemed easier, more natural him to fight through the contact to catch those balls than maybe a guy that's similarly as tall as he is.
Working through Chris's top 5 tight ends in this draft class. Number 5 was James Mitchell, Virginia Tech. 4, Isaiah Likely, Coastal Carolina. We just talked about his third tight end, Greg Dulcich, out of UCLA. Bringing us to number 2.
Number 2, Trey McBride, Colorado State. Yep, Trey McBride. Again, we're airing more on a past tight end here once again for sure. Along the lines of really the other guys we talked about. I would say almost like to paint a picture, Trey McBride's game's a little in between, a James Mitchell and a Greg Dulcich. It's almost a combination there a little bit. Or maybe I should even say Isaiah Likely and James Mitchell. That might be a little bit better. Very impressive in the pass game. There's some real shit to this kid when he gets the ball in his hands. He wants to run you over. He wants to stiff arm you to the ground. He wants to, drag you for 4 yards and then let you know about it when he gets up. He's a natural in the pass game. I think that's the one thing I really like. And, really good at getting off the ball. Whether it's a linebacker over him, a safety, any of that. So his releases were phenomenal. That for sure. I talked about the route running. He's the go-to guy for their offense.
Clearly.
He's going over the middle of the field. People are holding him, pushing him. He just fights through it and continues to run down the field and get a 20-yard gain. That's where he was really impressive. You got to see bright lights on him and still see him get open on a consistent basis throughout the season.
Used to being the guy, which to me says that, he was dealing with, I know he's a tight end, that they often get a safety or nickelback. He was probably dealing with the other team's best corner at Colorado State. Won the Mackey Award as a top tight end. 90 catches for 1,100 yards.
Yeah.
90 catches.
Yeah. He's ready to produce in the pass game. It's again, with this group that's not complete, right?
Yeah.
It was stuff like that kind of put me over the edge with him. And Paul, I think when you add wait, this guy knows what it's like to be the go-to guy, which I think there is some value to that, especially at the tight end position. But I think the other thing too is, compared to the other guys we've talked about, it's not that impressive. He's a better blocker than Dulcich or Likely, that's for sure.
Okay.
But it's not wow. It's not. You can trust him with the hand down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But if it's Cameron Jordan lining up across him, you're going to go, oh, this might be an issue for him this week, or he's got to get better at this before we can trust him at it.
What made him the best of these three? None of the three tight ends, 4, 3, and 2, you love as a blocker.
Yeah.
What makes him better? Is it his effort? Is it the amount of times they lined up in a position to do so?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's both of those. It's a little bit of the results, which weren't like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. But they were good to where you went, okay, he got it done. You know, he got pushed back a yard, but this guy didn't make the bite. He somehow and fought him off to where the running back got to run around the edge, but it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
You know, so again, you know, I don't want to say it's more of a blocker than the other two guys I talked about.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little less than James Mitchell, really altogether, as far as end of the line of scrimmage, hand down type blocking. But it was good enough for me to go, okay, if he has to be that guy, you can do it. And then he had the versatility to me to I mean, his body and the way he's made up, it really reminds me of Kyle Juszczyk of the San Francisco 49ers.
Been playing forever. It's
and
great.
I worked out Juszczyk when I was working for New England, and he was at Harvard for his pro day. So I've seen that body. I saw Trey McBride. I interviewed him at the Combine. You know, and they literally, like, they're the same guy almost, the way they're built and the way they stand and walk and everything that way.
There's a lot of these same guys, a lot of these issues. It's not just college evaluation to the NFL. I was at USFL training camp last week, and I was right next to the huddle and watching this tight end. He basically looks like a receiver. He's like 6'5", 230, split out wide most of the time. They brought him in this run situation to block. Wasn't doing it very well. He got called over to the side. Tight end coach put his arm around him. I was close enough to hear him. Basically, he's like, listen, we're not going to do this that often. You don't got to maul that guy. Just breathe on him.
Exactly.
Just breathe on him, get him out of the way, then we'll split you back out wide.
Yeah.
This is a tight end thing for now in any league, it seems like.
I think so. It's become, you know, a big-time position. And I think
but
some
just
of these...
this concern or this knowledge, okay, he's not a good blocker. We got to live with him anyway. How are we going to do that as an offense?
Yeah, you're going to have to find ways. You know, I mean, you know, I just want to get you a line. You know, one of the things, like, I wouldn't want to make a living with this guy at the end of my line of scrimmage.
There you are.
To your point.
So many of these guys could be described that way.
No, definitely not. You know, yeah, it's better than Dulcich. It's better than Likely, but that ain't saying much. That's why this group's it's a little incomplete that way. You know, yeah, in the ideal world, you want him to be the space tight end again.
Yeah.
And he's got a little of the run game stuff. And but ultimately, like we're talking about in those 2nd and 5 situations, I want him to be the guy off the edge of the run blame tight end. Like here's Gronk, and now he's right to his right edge, right off his right glute muscle there, like ready to block there too.
His
like
right
we talked
ass.
about, right off his right ass. Gronk, you get the defensive end.
Yeah.
I'll get the linebacker or the safety down in support. That's to me what he is. But yeah, you don't want to make a living that way.
Just don't be the biggest liability in the run game.
No, and I think that's where he'll get away with it is he kind of does what you're talking about. He just gets in the way, does his assignment, does what he has to do that way, but he's really impressive in the pass game. The quicks and twitch are real, right? To get free of defenders off the ball or at the top of routes. But yeah, he's tight end / H-back. This isn't go down the middle, you know, break a tackle and drag 3 guys for 5 more yards like Mark Bavaro or Gronkowski. That's not the kind of guy we're talking about here.
You like him better in the 2nd or 3rd? I
think that this is like end of 2nd, early 3rd-ish there, where, yeah, I would say somewhere between 50 and 70 would be my guess. That's what I would say for Trey McBride. But again, I think he's the guy that you're going to look for to be like, all right, we got a traditional tight end.
Right.
Now we got the tight end to play with and do some other cool crap with.
Trey McBride, Colorado State, won the Mackey Award as the top tight end this past fall, number 2 tight end. Who do we see as the number 1 best tight end in this class?
The number 1 best tight end in this class, who's got some of the least production, and that's where just production don't mean jack diddly squat, is Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State. I have no doubt that this is the best tight end in this draft.
Because?
Because he's the only one that is good in all areas and everything, to where put him down with the hand of the line of scrimmage, you're going to be just fine. You know, put him at fullback and you need him to smash the middle linebacker and really hit him. He's going to do that. He's one of the most physical at the point of attack that way, in my opinion. Has the body and legs and the power to, back it up, which I really like. And then, even though there's not the catches or anything like that, really one of the more impressive, I thought, route runners. Split him out. Yeah, he didn't get the ball, but damn, that was a good route. It was a great release. Has real speed to threaten people up the seam or down the middle of a cover 2 safeties, things like that. To me, this is a guy that the talent shows itself on the film. You just got to look for it. You can't look for it. You're not going to see it in catches and everything. You got to watch a real game and go, let me watch all these plays he goes out in the routes and they throw the ball to Olave, not him, and see how he's getting open as he's doing those type of things.
Or Jackson Smith in Jigba, I believe it is. I mean, they've got a lot of guys catching the ball, but there's always the other side, and I know the other side gets played in these draft rooms as well. So if someone says, okay, if he's that good, they've thrown the hell out of the ball at Ohio State. I know they've got good receivers, but if they throw it 40 times a game, it's not like you're evaluating someone who looks good who plays tight end at Wisconsin where, okay, they're blocking all the time. Ohio State's throwing it first.
They are.
So like someone who wanted to say, why didn't he get more balls? I want to see this as a negative. How do you talk about it?
I think the biggest thing is just an offense that doesn't really understand the tight end, or I don't want to say understand it, just doesn't really need it. Doesn't have to go to that playbook.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wait, we got a first-round receiver, got a first-round running back. Yeah. Hey, said Hut. Oh, wait, we'll just throw to you. Yeah. Oh, wait, next play, hey, first-round receiver, we're going to throw a screen to you. Now you go, said Hut. I mean, so, they have so many damn good football players. Yeah. It is a spread offense again, which, again, is not made for the tight end that way. But, I'll go back to something we talk about a lot with quarterbacks and stuff. Like, if you don't think we put Jeremy Ruckert on the Colorado State team that Trey McBride that we just talked about.
He would have had 91 catches instead of 90?
Right. If you don't think those results would have been every bit as good, that's to me where I just go, no doubt. This guy can do all that stuff. He's every bit as fast as Trey McBride. Looks like he's actually faster to me on film. Has more size. As a route runner, a pure route runner, this guy's f***ing impressive. Like, he's got real feet. So the route running was right up there with, I'd go, it's better than Dulcich, the route running. It's right there with Isaiah Likely as far as best route runner. I really looked at him and went, wait, I feel like I'm watching Freiermuth from Penn State last year.
And I wanted to get you there. I mean, I don't think it's fair to compare him to Kyle Pitts, last year's number one tight end.
Nobody can be
This
that.
is not a top 10, top 5 pick. But you compare him to Freiermuth of last year, who went in the second round.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Yeah, I think that's the kind of guy I look at, where I think he's actually a little bit better than Freiermuth as a blocker, and maybe a hair less as a pass receiver. I don't even know if he's a hair less, or if it's just the fact that I didn't get to see it as much as I'd like. And Freiermuth, he got to see it to where you could feel comfortable. But I feel in my gut from watching all his skills and everything he could do that he could be exactly what Freiermuth, I keep bludgeoning that.
Yeah.
What he could do with Pittsburgh. And I bet you watch his role will continue to improve with Pittsburgh too. But to like what you said earlier, like, you split this kid out, and it's 3rd and 5, and they get the right, and you want to throw a slant route, he's going to win, and you're going to get the slant, right?
You see that a lot.
He's definitely going to be able to do all of that stuff. Fake the slant, break back out, run the fade route down the sideline. He's got it. So, to me, this was the guy that I went, ooh, there's some elite movements and speed and route running from the guy, and then he's the only guy where I went, well, I really trust him in every area on the team and everything. He can be the first tight end, the second tight end guy, hand of the line of scrimmage, in the slot. He can do everything to where you're not going to have to worry about, oh, wait, no, hey, guys, get that tight end out of the game. We can't run that play with him. He can't do that.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about that with Jeremy Ruckert. There is no limitation.
I'm going to give you 2 options here with which way you want to go, kind of understanding your number 1 tight end from Ohio State, Jeremy Ruckert, a little better.
Yeah.
Do you have an NFL veteran comp that you think he's like and why? Or would you like to picture him in an NFL offense with a coordinator you know well and talk about how he would work well in that system with these guys around him, with this guy calling plays?
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's I'm trying to think if there's a veteran guy that, one of the other names I wrote down, Dalton Schultz, right,
Nice.
of the Dallas Cowboys.
Catches all kinds of balls.
Right. So that to me is what we're talking about. And Dalton Schultz, if memory serves me correct, they didn't throw the ball a ton to him at Stanford either.
Right.
It was kind of the same thing. You kind of go
mid-round?
Mid-round, fourth, third, late third, somewhere there, right?
Good player.
Right. It was a good player. I mean, we did Notre Dame games and they played Stanford.
Good in the
going,
NFL.
man, this guy's a damn good player.
Yeah.
But didn't get a ton of catches and all that. But that's to me what I see. But Dalton Schultz, right, was franchised this year by the Cowboys.
You would take him in the second round if you could right now?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would take him in the second round. You're gonna want to take this kid in the second round too. Yeah.
Early?
I would probably say mid. I don't think any of these guys will go. I think 45 will be the start. I think of Jeremy. Jeremy Ruckertville.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to do and run everything within your offense with this guy, and if he gets around a guy that's Shanahan, McVay, McDaniels-ish, that really understands like how to use the tight end and the little nuances of that, he'll tear it up.
Pete, Kristen, let's go ahead and throw up now that we're through 1 through 5. There we go. Jeremy Ruckert, Ohio State 1. Trey McBride, Colorado State 2. Dulcich out of UCLA at 3. Likely Coastal Carolina 4. And we started out with James Mitchell, Virginia Tech 5. Seems to me like a group of guys that aren't freaky enough to go in the first, but you like a lot of the pass-catching qualities here.
Exactly.
You are also questioning a lot of the run-blocking qualities.
Really, it's Jeremy Ruckert's the only guy I look at there as really the complete package. And James Mitchell, I think, is that too. Now, again, we only got to see 2 games from this year. But to me, those are the 2 guys that I think ultimately you're going to go from the purely traditional tight end standpoint, they can do all of it. I can expect them to block a big defensive end or get open in the receiving game, and that's where they're really good. But yeah, again, you don't have to be great at all of it in this day and age in the NFL.
Right.
Everybody sit here and tell me Travis Kelce's the best tight end. I want to go, he's not even in the top 10 blocking tight ends. Not even in the top 10. Probably not in the top 15.
Maybe
not top 20.
Yeah.
But they know how to use them to where it affects and makes their team great.
Right.
And I think you got some guys that are potentially can fill some of those roles for a team in the future here.
One of the most fun parts about doing this sort of thing on a podcast as opposed to TV, where I'd be throwing a break right now because we rushed through guys, and we didn't have to rush through them, but we can also include some players that almost major 1 through 5. You can talk about what you like about them, maybe why they didn't quite make the top 5.
Yeah, Jelani Woods is a guy that I really struggled with, and I was thinking about making him 5 over Mitchell from Virginia Tech, just because, again, Mitchell was incomplete as far as, not seeing him see play football last year. Woods, the blocking, again, it's not great. He plays very high.
He's like a tackle, 6'7", 275.
It's unbelievable. And you'd think he'd be great in that department.
Yeah.
But because he plays so high, and of course he's probably his whole life been able to just lean on people, there's some work to be done there. But there's potential to go that big. I see some plays that go, whoa, he's strong as hell. And you go, oh, he could become a really good, down 3 down, put your hand down in the dirt, blocking tight end. He could become good at it. But the reason you got to think about him, to me at least in the top 5, was it's elite as far as the size and the be able to run down the middle of the field, to where you got to almost think about it from that and just go, all right, well, I know he can't block anybody, but hopefully he can work on it, because in the pass game, he can do some Gronk stuff to where, Paul, the size is a skill, and then to be able to run 4.5 behind it's insane. The
measurables are crazy.
They're crazy. But the height, you see that's real, right? And then
arm length,
the
93rd.
Wingspan, right?
Yeah.
Insane. The 40-yard dash, insane for that. And he runs pretty damn well. He gets off the ball pretty well. It's a little bit of a build-up speed, yes.
4.61 and 6'7", 275.
But puts his foot in the ground, Paul, and can burst out of breaks. And then the thing that's most impressive now, listen, he's got some ugly drops, and he can look a little awkward adjusting the ball every now and then. But then I could show you 10, 15 other plays and go, look at this great adjustment by the ball. And then look at these like gnats he's swatting off because people run into him full speed and he's like, wait, did you just hit me in the thigh? I didn't even know you were there. And he just keeps going. Oh, boom, 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 boom. And then he's got a guy hanging on his back and he's still running. And he's like, wait, is somebody hanging on my back? So there's a real elite part of what he can maybe do here in the NFL that made me think about, maybe making him a top 5 tight end there.
You look at the size, you look at what he's done athletically and what he could be. Like, third round may sound overdrafted a little bit, but, I mean, this is the kind of guy that ends up going a little higher than maybe he should.
He could go a little higher, but he could, exactly right. If you're a team that's kind of sitting there and going, wait, we feel pretty good about our team. Like, he's the guy that you go, well, maybe we overdraft and take a shot here.
Yeah.
It might not work out for us this year, but 2 years down the road, watch out. So that to me, his elite size and speed and what he could do in the pass game was enough to bring him in this conversation, even though you want more in the run game.
Also in the conversation here, Chris, some tight ends who almost made your top 5, Cade Otton, Washington.
Cade Otton was a good football player. He really was. And definitely in the running for being in the 5 as well. Because he would be one of the guys like Ruckert where I'd go, he can do everything. Good blocker, phenomenal blocker in space. But it just wasn't – it lacked a little bit of eliteness in the pass game to me, I guess is what it was. It was smooth. Again, I expect this kid to be a starting tight end for a football team for a long time. So I'm certainly not trying to say anything bad. I think this kid's a good player. You can depend on him to do everything. But I think there's a little lack of splash or sexiness or one elite trait in the pass game is kind of what scared me from him. I mean, it's kind of catch the ball, spot it where he catches it. He's not going to get much yak. He's not real explosive out of running routes or changing speeds, anything like that. So that's where he just missed the cut. But I think he's still a good football player.
I think we played Washington in the Rose Bowl forever ago. Was there a tight end last name Bruner? Ended up playing the league for a long time.
There was.
Just a nice player. I kept thinking of him while you're describing this Washington player.
Yeah, wait, I think there
somebody
was
Bruner.
You might be right.
It was Mark Brunell throwing to him.
Yeah.
Greg Bruner. Yeah. Mark Bruner, says Pete.
Mark Bruner.
He's a first rounder of the Steelers. Okay.
Steelers, wow.
In 95.
Wow.
I thought he was a mid-round guy who kind of put together a nice career, but he
should have been a mid-round guy, obviously. He shouldn't have been the first round.
14-year career. Wow. Okay. Played for 14
How do you
years.
Bruner? B-R-E-W or U?
I think it was a U first. B-R-U-E-N. Maybe even 2 N's.
Damn.
I watched him reach all my friends who were DNs on the team. From
well,
the sideline
he played
for
the Texans.
hours.
I probably played him in preseason games, and that's where I'm embarrassed. I'm going, wait, I don't really remember him. So
Mark Bruner? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Funny where the mind goes.
Yes, it is.
Talking tight ends.
Yeah.
And one more.
Yeah.
From Iowa State.
Well, Charlie Kolar, right? He's a guy that is
Big production.
Yeah. Awesome in the pass game. Yep. Awesome. Almost a little like Jelani Woods in the fact where people around him just don't affect him. Like it's like, where most of us are going down the middle and you're going, oh, the ball's a little high. I'm going to have to extend my arms and probably get my head knocked off. Let me not extend them.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't even know they're there. He's just like, go ahead, hit me. You're going to bounce off. It's going to hurt you more than me. So he's great that way. But then you go, where's that physicality in the run game? Because he doesn't want to block anybody. And it's bad. It's not just like, oh, it's just a little below average. It's bad where you'd go, damn, he's that big, and I don't want to put him at the end of the line of scrimmage. I don't trust him to block anybody.
Right.
So that's where he misses the cut. But a guy that I'd go, there could be some value for the way he moves and how big he is in the pass game. Yeah.
He was terrific at Iowa State. I know that.
Yes, he was. I mean, he's got a lot of impressive catches and all of that. But it's just like I said, he wasn't helping Breece Hall break too many runs, though, either.
And one under the what about category from Texas A&M.
Yeah, Jalen, Wydermyer from Texas A&M. Everybody's dogging him because he ran the 5.06 at the combine, right, or at his pro day.
Wasn't good. Yeah, pro day.
He plays faster than that. He does play faster than that. I think the thing that I was a little bit disappointed with him is just the blocking wasn't quite what I was expecting from the human I saw in person and when he first turned on the film. So there is that. Let alone, the movement's a little stiff and, not perfect that way. But, I still think this is like a mid-round pick. Still think this is a guy that has a chance to maybe be a starting tight end for a football team. To at least be on your team and be one of the 2 tight ends. I didn't look at the film and go, oh man, shit, he really does run a 5 flat.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that. It's a little lumbering. It's not great, but it's not 5 flat slow. So he'll find a spot in the league. He really will.
Well done to the tight ends.
Thank you very much, sir.
I have a few questions to get to. The first one about fast 40 times. We're seeing them all over the place. I know we just talked about one that was over 5 at a pro day, but in general, there have been a lot of blazing times, especially at the combine. Edma Perez 09 says, is it that this year's class has learned how to train for the 40, or that there's a collective 3 rockets up everybody's ass?
No, we've talked about this a little bit, and it's a good question there at Edma Perez 09. It's to me, this is a year where the speed that I saw on film did not match the times we saw at the combine. The speed on film, for the most part, I would go, wait, this guy does not play 4.34, does not play 4.38. It's of course the number one thing you're measured by as a player. It's the number one thing you're measured by if you're the guy that trains the player. Is what was your last year's class 40 times? It's become big business, and people have learned to dissect and break down the race to inches, steps. It's measured perfectly. I mean, perfectly. So, yes, I think there's a little bit more of they've learned to train and run the 40 more than just pure God-given, just line up and you're going to run 4.2 and we don't even have to train you. That's the difference between Tony Dorsett's and the Deion Sanders of the world.
Oh, right.
Like, they train for the 40. What?
Yeah.
They were like, well, I'll just run more? Like, I mean, they just got out of bed and they were fast.
Right. Think about how many dozens of guys, I don't know, maybe hundreds now that are top prospects. Their agents pay for them to go to the warm weather, January, February, March, and what are they doing?
That's all they're doing.
They're training for the 40.
Exactly right. I mean, and it's, I got a taste in it. And, of course, that was a long time ago. And I know just from the people that trained me when I was coming out, they've evolved in all areas to where everything is broken down to just an exact science. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest key there. I did not think the players were as fast as some of their times this year.
I think on Monday, you and Ahmed talked about safeties.
Yeah.
Is that Monday? Okay.
Yeah.
You had Kyle Hamilton, Notre Dame, number 1. Stephen B. says, Kyle Hamilton, comparison to the late, great Sean Taylor.
Ooh, well, I will say this. There is something there.
Yeah.
I mean, one, they're a part of the rare breed of safeties where you step on the field and you go, what the is that guy over there at safety? Who that's a safety?
And Kyle Hamilton is the captain of that team.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the way Sean Taylor was too. Sean Taylor, the first time we were like, what? Are you kidding me? That's the safety?
Yeah.
Is he the middle linebacker or the safety? So yes, there is some of that. And then I think the versatility of what he brings to the table is Sean Taylor-esque too, to where you go, whoa, it's really good in the pass game. And then you go, whoa, when you get him up near the box, he's physical. He never turns down a hitter. He's amazing open field tackling.
Right.
Hamilton, again, I don't want to say he's Sean Taylor, but I would be surprised if he doesn't go in the top 15.
Yeah.
I know some people think top 5. That's high for a safety.
I want to get to more of that in a moment.
Yeah.
But I saw him play every game of his college career, and like 2 things really jump out after you get past like he looks like a number 3 guy playing in the NBA.
Right.
Is that number 1, he loves contact.
Yes, he does.
Like you so often see these guys that are so gifted physically that you don't say, and you know what? He loves to get down there and hit people.
Yeah.
He really does.
Definitely.
And someone that tall, they often have a hard time with the short area quickness,
right.
like getting down and then bursting to the next spot. Somehow
he does
it. He does that part of your athletic evaluation like he's 6'1".
He does. It's what's impressive.
Really something to see.
It really is. Whether he's flipping his hips and now has to plant and driving a ball, or he's backpedaling and now has to stick a foot in the ground and break on it. It's DB. It's corner-ish.
Yeah.
It's not safety-ish.
Exactly.
So that's where it is. It's special. And agreed with you. It's the number one thing that jumped off to me, let alone, the size, the ball skills, they're all great. But the first thing I really looked for on the practice field, I remember being at Notre Dame the first day I was there in the games, was I wanted to be like, wait, the first time the running back runs at him,
let's see.
Is he going to dive at his ankles or try to catch him with his hands? And no, he was like, no, I'll see you face to face right there. And it was every time he made a tackle that way.
Yeah.
He's tough.
We got cheated a little bit of a great matchup. I think he got hurt in that USC game this year.
He did.
We met with him on Friday, and he grew up pretty familiar with Drake London from USC because they were both big-time hoops players. So he knew him, and he was a big part of their plan, not just to help with Drake, but to really cover him.
He can do that with that kind of guy.
Would have been awesome.
Right.
Kyle unfortunately got hurt early in that game, but that would have been a fun one to watch for the whole game.
Definitely. He's got, like we just said, corner covering skills. That's what's amazing about him. And to our point with their tight ends, see, this is what I mean. It's a different position.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with guys that are, like a Kyle Hamilton, where you go, whoa, he's long, he's tough, he's strong, and he can run like me, the tight end.
Right.
And of course Hamilton's a greater prospect than the normal guy, but it just speaks to what you got to be as a tight end in the NFL.
Talking about Kyle Hamilton, top safety in this class from Notre Dame, bringing us to an idea from PointsBet here. You said maybe top 15.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about him. Over/under is 8.5 for his draft position.
It is a tough one.
I would say higher.
You think it's going to be the higher one?
Yeah,
You think it's going to go before that?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're. I'm going to let me just make sure I pull up my NFL.
I know there are a lot of DNs and some good tackles, and I mean, there's some things working against him. And safeties in general, don't go that high.
No, they usually don't.
But
yeah, I know. Let's look at this. So is 8.5?
Yeah.
Right. Atlanta, I mean, sitting at 8 could use a safety for sure. They could use a lot of things. Man, I mean, the Jets, they could be in that conversation at 4, trying to look for their version of their Cam Chancellor for that Seattle scheme that Robert Saleh and company want to run there.
And they have a couple of early picks.
They do. They got their picks 4 and their pick 10.
So if they wanted to make one of them kind of a luxury type pick, maybe they could.
Maybe. It's certainly a need for their team.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Then, Carolina is a big believer, and I've heard this from people down there. They love length. That's why they drafted Brian Burns. That's why they drafted J.C. Horn. Gosh, that's why they drafted Jeremy Chin. So, but no, that's why they won't do it, because they got Jeremy Chin. Yeah. I don't think they'll do it. So right. I think when I sit here and look at this in the draft order, I'm going to go with the under. Okay. I think it'll be after 8.5. I don't think it'll be far down the list there.
But after 8.5.
But after 8.5. The team that I look at that really jumps out, other than the Jets, who we mentioned a little bit, is the Washington Commanders at 11.
At 11.
I could see that being the spot. They have average safety play. They only got 2 or 3 on the roster right now. And they need it. So that to me is one where I look at and go, ooh, I could see that being the spot where he ends up.
We invite everybody to download the PointsBet app. Use code NBC2K to sign up. You get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000.
Up to $2,000. If you're in eligible state, PointsBet has an exclusive sign-up offer for Unbuttoned listeners that you can't miss. You can't miss it. Download the PointsBet app. Use code NBC2K to sign up and get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. So if you bet $350 and lose, you will get free bets worth $350. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet.
Is it? Yeah, added the extra huh. That was nice. Yeah. Is it hard to not say best when you say bet? Live your bet life.
For whatever time, I have to literally still read that read to the T because it tongue twists me and I mess it up every time.
We have one more PointsBet surprise. It's not a surprise anymore. But Pete's saying we just got this 2022. NFL first tight end drafted, not even up on the site yet, Chris.
Man.
This is what they think of the SIMMS Unbuttoned podcast,
right.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so odds provided by PointsBet. First tight end drafted, they say Trey McBride is the most likely at -120. Dulcich from UCLA, the next most likely, a ways back, though, at +350.
Yeah, it's and then we got our guy Jeremy Ruckert.
He was your top guy, right?
He's my top guy. We'll see where that goes. I'm going to be interested to see how this all plays out. Of course, the betting world is a little bit sometimes in favor of stats.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, McBride and Dulcich got the stats. They do. I'm going to bet that my ability, NFL IQ, And knowing what an NFL, I'm gonna bet Rucker goes first off the board.
You're taking you over PointsBet.
I'm taking me over PointsBet here. And PointsBet, they're really smart. They're just going by some of maybe the dumb people that are betting at their site. That's what they're doing. So it's not them. They're probably with me. But
after you read the promo so well, you said the dumb people at the site. I don't know. It really kind of equals out. It's like the tight end who can catch well, but doesn't block well.
Yeah, right. I know. That didn't work out. Yeah. That was my thought. That's not PointsBet's thought. They think all the people on their site are smart.
Just a mid-round H-back.
Yeah, just a mid-round H-back.
That's my co-host
right.
here.
Yeah.
All right, little ways to go here. Commanders wide receiver Dyami Brown.
Yeah.
Ready for a question about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony Rufo says, there has been a lot of chatter about the Commanders taking a wide receiver, but what about Dyami Brown? He was your number 3 receiver in the class last year. Did he flash in his rookie season, or do you think it would be wise to go after another receiver?
Well, I'm not opposed to going after another receiver either way. I still like what I see from Dyami. He had the little injury, never really got going. Of course, they had some bit of a quarterback issue there too.
A little bit.
But I'm not opposed, and I got to really kind of study Washington and their team in general. But just off the top of my head, of course, we're in a little bit of a contract situation with Terry McLaurin, to where I don't know, it seems dicey a little right now. And then their supposed second receiver has not been able to play for them yet, and Curtis Samuel. I mean, he came back for a week or two last year, and then he had to go right back to being injured on the sideline.
If he's well. He would bring a lot.
He's a weapon. Yeah. He can really bring some to that offense. But this is to where our question here, and it's a good question. Dyami Brown or not, I think they need to add another guy. J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson were second and third on the team in receiving and receptions last year. Those are 2 running backs. They were 2 and 3. So obviously there has to be some more production from the receiving unit. And I wouldn't be shocked to see them go receiver in the second, third round to add to the group.
One more receiver question here, thinking about the Jets with those early picks. At Sarby says, nervous Jets fan here. Is there another kind of Jets fan?
There's not.
You don't need to say that.
And the Jets fans are hilarious right now because most teams are happy when they have top 10 picks.
Yeah.
Jets fans are like, oh, we're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
We're going to screw it up. We're the Jets. We're going to screw it up. It's all I hear all day. It's all I hear.
Would Treylon Burks really fulfill that Debo for LaFleur at number 10?
No.
Or would they just be better off trying to trade back into the first and use 4 and 10 on the other Noah's Ark of things that they still need?
Yes, I would do that. To me, the pick number 10 for Trey Burks is too early.
Where'd you have him?
He was my 4th, right?
It seems like it'd be way high.
Yes. First off, Debo Samuel is special, and even though Treylon Burks, I said he's a weapon in doing that, he ain't Debo Samuel. Let's slow down there.
There's a reason why he's the only receiver who is featured so much in the running game in the NFL.
It really.
There's only one.
I
know Cordell Patterson does a little bit too, and that's pretty cool. But
not like Debo.
There's only one Debo.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's 59 carries as a running back and 70 something receptions, and was the league leader in yards per catch, or one of the league leaders. I mean, that's insane. That is. He's not explosive like that. He's not quite as twitchy like that, but he can run, and when he gets the ball in his hand, he can make people miss and break tackles. And for whatever reason, when the ball's in his hand, he has an extra gear that he might not have when the ball's up in the air, which is oddly enough. But he's not worth the number 10, in my opinion. I would trade down. And Jets fan, don't be so nervous. Again, this is an injured foot. I like the Jets and where they're going. I really do. I like everything about it. I thought they had another good free agency. They were one of the teams that were ravaged by injuries last year. And for the Jets, the way their team set up, 4 and 10, 4 and 10, and you got, picks at the top of the second round. I just look at them and go, okay, we got needs at safety. They'd like to add another receiver to the group, and then pass rusher. That'd be another thing I'd look at. Okay. And then maybe O-line. Well, there's just so many of those guys that are going to be there to be had in the top 40 picks that I go, you're going to be fine. They're going to get this right.
You want one cornerback? Not quarterback, cornerback?
Sure.
Little cornerback? All right. Kaiir Elam.
Oh, yeah.
Matt asks, forget no Stingley. Why isn't Elam in your top 5 corners either?
Yeah, Elam was good. He was right on the outside looking in too. He was. I wish I had my damn other notebook here. I don't have my corners with me. I like his physical. To me, he was a little stiff and just missed some of the movement explosion that I'd like to see out of that position. I think that was the biggest thing I came away with Elam. Good football player, going to be a starting corner for a football team. But, like, compared to, let's say, Elam, I just want to make sure I got this right. He was like 6'1", I believe. 6'1", and, ran 4.39. So it's impressive. He's 6'2", right? But he'd be one of those guys that did not play like he ran 4.3. Did not look like that to me. And then, ultimately, I think what scared me more than, like, there's other guys where I just went, their ability to stick their foot down, stick their foot in the ground, break on the ball, their hips turning, all of that, to me was more impressive than Kaiir Elam, but still a good football player. No doubt about it. And I wouldn't be shocked if he went at the end of the first round. I wouldn't. I think I ended up writing like 25 to 45. He was one of those guys for me as far as where he goes.
It's that sad part of my Wednesday.
Yeah.
When I look at the sheet, it's all done.
It's all done. It's all over. You got anything going on this weekend?
This weekend, calling the first USFL game
awesome.
of my season.
Okay, so Saturday?
Saturday is the simulcast NBC and Fox.
Fox, right.
The game I'm calling is Sunday afternoon, I think 4 o'clock Eastern.
All right, 4 o'clock Eastern. Yeah. Paulie will be there. USFL football.
There it is.
Okay, you and
with
Michael Robinson?
Mike Robinson,
okay,
former
Mike
Big Ten
Robinson.
MVP. Yeah.
Man, Mike Robinson.
He was a player in college, wasn't he?
What? And then even when he got in the NFL
Made
as a
nice
fullback,
career as a fullback,
nobody wanted to hit.
He told me
nobody
he was
wanted to hit him.
250. He played in the NFL at 250.
He was thick as hell.
Yeah.
Yes, and brought it. Like
right?
I can remember games going, these are big time middle linebackers, and they're turning down.
Yeah.
Taking James Robinson on, Mike Robinson head on.
Nothing but respect for a guy who played quarterback that well. I mean, he was Big Ten MVP.
I know. Unreal.
And then to put on that weight, and not only at fullback, but I mean special teams. Dude was a player on teams too.
He was.
And you know what that
player,
means,
right?
Yeah. So
quarterbacks, instincts. See, again, there you go.
Just like us,
wrapping it up.
If they only would have played us on special teams.
And if I hit like Michael Robinson did, I'd have 4 neck fractures, so that couldn't happen. All right, there we did it. That's it. That's the show. Next week we got O-line
Monday.
There's only 97 million of them. So if you're wondering where I am this weekend, I'll just be sitting at home watching film.
Centers, guards, tackles.
Yeah, it's all of it. Right.
All
right.
Like top 5 of everybody.
Mm-hmm. And I just started it on Sunday, so I'm trying to get through. Like I had a feel for some of the big name guys, but now I'm getting into the nitty gritty and really going through it. So
that's an exciting
Here
weekend.
we go. Yep.
Yeah.
I won't be doing it on Easter Sunday though. I will do Easter stuff on Sunday, right? That's the Sunday.
Easter egg hunt. You set
Easter
it up?
egg hunt? Maybe. I'll put the dollars in some of the plastic eggs.
That's a contribution.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Counts.
That's what dads do.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good weekend. Enjoy it. Got some good weather here in the Northeast. Paulie, thanks for driving the show, the ship,
See you Monday.
the show. Yeah, USFL. Kick some ass, all right?
Thank you.
Peace out, homie. See ya.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.